This is Patrick Roth, Senior Support Technician for U1 Business Solutions. Today we're going to look at an error that we can see in versions of SmartConnect 2016 to 2018 inclusive, which would cover pretty much all of our customers that are not using SmartConnect 21 currently. And the problem that you can get is this one. So I had launched SmartConnect 2018 159, the last version of SmartConnect 2018, and I launched it and it immediately fails with the error could not log into SQL Server, login failed for user SmartConnect. Now the error could be, it wouldn't have to be SmartConnect, that's the typical and that's the default username to a SmartConnect 2018 installed, but you could add your own and you can use any user up to including SA if you like. So in this case, this failed immediately, which tells us that it's going to be a SQL Server login error. And we do see that could not log into the SQL Server, which was also our other clue that that was what happened. So in this case, good chance that the SQL Server credentials for the SmartConnect SQL user got changed. And so we need to tell our SmartConnect application what the new credentials are. To do that, if you look in the SmartConnect folder, there's a tool called E1 SmartConnect Config Exe. This is the tool that you use to connect, change credentials, change settings, and do all the things you need to do in the setup so that SmartConnect UI can connect to it. This also does include is we could get the error when launching the SmartConnect service. We could get the error also by using the SmartConnect web services. You can get the error in application, but that will be a separate connection, so not quite the same solution. So in this case, you always want to launch this using right-click Run as Administrator. The reason why for that is because it's going to update this configuration file in the local SmartConnect folder, E1 SmartConnect.setup.config. And since it's in the C program files x86 folder, Windows is more careful from that. And if we would just launch this as a regular user, it wouldn't be able to update that file, and then we'd have to relaunch and do it again anyway. So in this case, so we have to enter, it doesn't default anything, so we have to enter the path to our SQL Server and then the database. In this case, my SmartConnect 2018 is literally called SC 2018. We are going to log in as SmartConnect, and then we are going to enter our password. And when we test the connection, indeed, it did fail just like SmartConnect did. So how we can solve that is if we don't know what this new password is, or if we did, but if we didn't know what the new password is, we go to SQL and we would change this. And we're not marking enforcing the password policies. That just gets us expired faster. Obviously, you can do what you want. And so now I've changed it. So now if I go back here and enter the password I just changed it in SQL, my test connection did fail. It didn't throw any errors this time, and it defaults the setup to the config file in that folder, and then whatever the settings that were in the existing config file. Now I did mention that we can also have the service run across the same error, and that's because the service has the same configuration file. So by saving this would solve the service being able to start too. If we're using the WCF web config files, the password actually is stored in a separate web config. So in this particular case, if we go to the E1 Solutions file in the WCF folder, I have to pick the web config. And if we're going to use the, if you're using the ASMX web service, you have to pick the one in the www folder. So now, if I press save changes, it says updated configuration successfully. And now, if I launch SmartConnect, we notice it didn't immediately fail, meaning that it did successfully connect to SQL this time. And barring any other issues, we should be logged into SmartConnect 2018 momentarily. And indeed, it did launch, and we were able to see all our maps, and we'd be able to do whatever you need. This would, since the service would also start now, and then since we also updated the 2 web config files, my web services, my SmartConnect web services would also work fine to be able to connect to the database and run whatever maps you need.